Sawubona, Dumelang, Molweni. My name is Rufaro, and today I'm going to be taking you through the NHBRC Survival Guide for Homeowners. I'm here speaking on behalf of Sub-Sahara Engineering. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so chapter 1. So, if you're a builder, right, starts digging today, and you haven't seen any NHBRC enrollment certificate, your house might be illegal before it even exists. Okay, so this is what we want to talk about today. Okay, so by law, right, in South Africa, every new home must be enrolled within the first 15 days, right? I think any engineer that works with the NHBRC, any contractor would know this, most definitely. They should know that, right? So that is number 1, right? And your builder needs to be registered, but the house, your builder obviously needs to be registered, right? But the house needs to be enrolled. So your house should have gone through enrollment, right? Through the enrollment process, right? So if they skip this, like if the builder or the developer or the contractor, if they skip this, right, the NHBRC can stop your build or refuse to issue a structural warranty, right? Or even worse, the bank may block your drawdown payment. So that is more or less what usually happens. So this it's generally like the 15-day rule ambush. So most people discover this when it's a bit too late, and then when they call people like us, they're in a panic, and usually we have to calm them down and kind of explain to them that, you know, their house can still be enrolled, right? So my advice to homeowners would be just don't take their word for it if they say that the house is enrolled. Please ask for an enrollment certificate, check the date, right? And if it's not in your hands, like if they don't give it to you, please don't let them start the construction. That would be my professional advice, more or less, to say don't let them start the construction if you don't have a certificate. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into chapter number 2. Okay, so chapter number 2. That's the 315 warranty code. Okay, so your house has a best before date for repairs, of course, and we will typically, like at our company, we call it the 315 rule. Okay, so every owner, you need to memorize this, right? So the NHBRC warranty covers you in 3 stages, right? 3 months. So this is your snag list. So your minor defects, your cracks, maybe they didn't put the right color of tiles, maybe, you know, the door is sticking out. That's for within the first 3 months. Then for the year, so this is your roof leaks, right? You want, for the first rainy season, and you wanted to pass the test. And then the 5 years, most definitely, which is the most important one. And this obviously, this is the big one, of course. So, it covers your major structural defects, and this is your foundation or your walls starting to settle differentially, or bowing of your walls when they curve in or curve outwards. So this is the most important one. The most important one is the 5 year. So 3 years, it's your minor defects, more or less your cosmetic defects. 1 year, it's more likely your roof. Then 5 years, it's your major defects. So you need to remember this, right? So this is the most important thing. So this is the 315 warranty code. So if you're doing your own build, if you build houses to sell, you need to remember this. This is very important, right? With that being said, let's jump into chapter number 3. Right. So for your chapter number 3, right? This is the happy letter, right? Usually as us as consultants, we ask for happy letters from municipalities. We ask them from big clients. Particularly us as consultants, we ask for municipalities and big clients or big government organizations like your Department of Human Settlement, Department of Public Works, or for example COCTA, because what that does is it allows people to know that you're good at your job, more or less, right? It allows people to know that, okay, no, this guy knows what he's doing, right? So happy letters are extremely important in that sense. So whatever you do, don't sign a happy letter until you're actually happy. And let me explain to you why. Okay, so the builder will pressure you to sign a letter of satisfaction so that they can get their final payment, right? But once you sign that, Like you're essentially telling the NHBRC and the bank that the house is perfect, which might not be the case. Maybe, you know, there's still plastering that needs to be done. Maybe you're not happy with how they put in the tiles or the color of the cupboards. So please do not sign it, right? While the 5-year structural warranty still applies, right? Getting a builder back to fix minor snags like your poor tiling or wonky cupboards becomes 10x harder, right? Once they have their money, right? It's a bit difficult to. I'm sure I don't have to explain this, right? Once you pay the full price, the person you've paid, they have all the leverage. So it's unadvised. So my expert tip would be do a final walkthrough, right? Even with an independent eye, so you can call your relative, you can call your friend, you can call your coworker, so that they can just have a look and see if everything is how it's supposed to be. Because if you've been looking in for so long, your eyes may be biased. So that would be my expert tip for that. So do not sign the happy letter until you are actually happy. That's a pro tip, most definitely. Okay, let's jump into chapter number 4. Okay, so chapter number 4, like the owner build myth. Okay, so the owner build myth, right? This would be like thinking building your own house means you can skip the NHBRC, right? Mm-hmm. So generally people will be like, no, I don't want to involve other people. I'm just going to build. I'm just going to do my own thing, right? This is not the case. Like the NHBRC, like I said, it's here even to protect you from yourself. So you can't just skip the NHBRC. So please think again, right? It might cost you the sale of your house in 10 years, right? So you could build in silence or build quietly and have your illegal structure. But yay, if the municipality finds out, it's going to destroy it. If the NHBRC finds out, they're going to ask the municipality to deal with it. So yeah, do not do that. Do not do that. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. Please do not do that, right? So if you're an owner, or if you're an owner builder, if you're building your own thing, right, you can apply for an exemption from the NHBRC fee. So they won't charge you, which is a good thing, right? But the exemption doesn't mean that I can do whatever I want, right? You still have to register as an owner builder, right, before you start building. And if you don't, and you try to sell that house within the first 5 years, the buyer's bank will likely reject their bond application because it's not protected by that warranty. And I do acknowledge that most owner builders want to live in the house, but you might find a better opportunity in Australia or in the UK or in the USA, maybe not at this moment, but yeah, or in New Zealand, and now you want to ship out, right? So now you're thinking, hi, I want to sell this house, and maybe you've only lived at it for 2 years. You can't sell it to anyone who's going to buy it through a bond. And most people buy houses through bond because generally the average South African can afford to buy a house cash. For example, if it's $500,000 or if it's $1 million house, no one can afford to buy it cash. So generally, you want to get your exemption from NHBRC and make sure that you're doing things the right way, or rather, should I say, the legal way, right? So that's very, very important, right? So just register for your exemption, right? It's cheaper than the full fee, right? But the paperwork must be done perfectly. So don't let a DIY dream just become a nightmare in case you ever need to dispose of the asset, right? So that's very important. Okay, so that being said, right? Let's move on to our last chapter. Oh, I'm going backwards. Right. Our last chapter. We are done. Thank you so much. Right. Thank you so much for listening. And I just wanted to let you guys know that please remember, this is just general advice. Right. Always consult a registered professional engineer, like the team at Sub-Sahara Engineering, of course, for your specific project, right? And make sure that you're always dealing with people who are registered and have the correct competency. I don't need to go too much into that. If you guys have a project that you want to start on, or you need any sort of NHBRC assistance in terms of the engineering side, my links on how to contact Sub-Sahara Engineering are most definitely in the description. Feel free to reach out. If you're watching this on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, feel free to DM feel free to DM us. We will most definitely get back to you as soon as we can. So until the next time, bye guys. Salagatle.